Chapter 3 I am afraid, Ambrose notes in one of his books, that the golden days of the stage are numbered. One sees, more and more surely, that the horrible wave of respectability is advancing on the profession, that the old race of workmen with their mysteries and craft receipts, their peculiar jargon, their pride in the art, is dying out. The new generation is nothing to me. An English country gentleman is an excellent type. I admire it with all my heart, but I don't care to see an indifferent imitation of the character being given by a strolling player. How odd it is that in Chaucer one does not see the faintest desire in the clerk of Oxford or the miller to be taken for the knight or the squire. I suppose that the new generation was knocking at the door when I joined Hathaway, but it had not been let in. We were not ashamed of our craft. We were proud of it, and accepted our blue chins as a miller accepts his flowery costume. What a good life it was, in spite of discomforts, of greasy food cooked by slap-cabbage landladies, in spite of rooms that were often very far from cleanliness, in spite of evil-smelling, inconvenient dressing rooms in insanitary theaters, of wearisome journeys, of rehearsals that began sometimes at 11:30. After the show, we came very near to the ideal life which man was meant to lead. Who can measure the excellent effects of vagabondage, of the continual rolling which keeps the stone clean of moss and lichen? Acting is not a high art, nor a fine art. It is doubtful whether it is really an art at all, but the life of the strolling player is, or was, the nearest approach that this age can make to the life of the wandering craftsman of the Middle Ages. Sometimes I hear, by chance, snatches of old music, and I want to take off my hat. Back I go to the stuffy dressing-room, and the dear scattered faces are reassembled. The drums and trumpets sound from the stage. I am waiting to go on in the wings. The clanking of the armor and the clash of swords sounds in my ear. The stage manager, would he were here, hisses his opinion of my dancing with wonderful eloquence from the prompt corner. It all returns, dear happy life of players errant, purged unconsciously of most of the hideous vices of modern civilization. I take off my hat when I hear the old music, for I think of the old friends and the old days, of the theatre in the meadows by the sacred river, and the song of the nightingales on sweet spring nights. There is no doubt that we may safely hold with Plato his opinion, and safely may we believe that all earthly things are but broken copies and dim lineaments of everlasting realities. Therefore, I hope and trust I shall again be gathered into the true Hathaway company, quae sursum est, which is the purged and exalted image of the lower, which plays for ever a great mystery in the theatre of the meadows of Asphodel, which wanders by the happy streams and drinks from an eternal cup in a high and blissful and everlasting tavern. Ave, cara, sodalitas, ave semper. Ambrose stayed a little more than 2 years with the strollers. He sent the address of a solicitor to his uncle, his coming of age, and found when Mr. Horbury sent in his statements that there was a pleasant little sum of money to his credit. Mr. Vaughan consented to stay on at the Warren, and Ambrose, bidding farewell to his companions, sheathing his property sword for the last time, journeyed up to London on a cold, bright day in early spring.